very interesting hand. I actually wanted to draw the lions and the mounts because they were so interesting. I didn't want to leave anything out. Now we see that this hand, there's a lot about her on the internet. Very famous girl, only 22 years of age, and very, very extremely accomplished. And this is what I'm seeing in the K-pop stars. This trend, they are young but extremely, extremely talented and extremely, extremely accomplished. This is also what differentiates them from the Western world. In the Western world, talent is not as appreciated as in the East Asian community, and this we can see from the K-pop stars' hands. That this is one reason, but also one particular reason is the amount of hard work they put into everything they do. The amount of struggles they have to go to, the competitions they have to go through. So it's something like it's a lifestyle. They have to basically when they're at a certain age, someone asks them what you want to be. When they say, yeah, I want to be a musician, then they own it. So this is like we all can learn from them as well. Anyway, moving on further, we see that this hand, because I've read about her, and she is very unique. She doesn't like stereotyping music, etc. And this is a hand which is very, very unique and very, very annoyed by normal music. She doesn't like normal things. She doesn't like tradition. She doesn't like the same thing happening again and again. She not only likes to reinvent herself, she wants to reinvent music. And she, in person, maybe she hasn't said this, but she doesn't believe there's one genre of music. She believes it's mixed. So we also see this by the fingers. See the fingers? One is like going like this, one is like going like this, one is like going like this, one is like. So most of the fingers are curved or bent, right? So what happens when the fingers are curved or bent? It means the person has a very, very different take on life. Meaning that, see, the more straightforward the fingers are, the more the person is traditional. What their father did before them, etc., they will do. What their ancestors did before them, they will do. What music was before them, what music is playing currently, they will follow, they will create. But a person with these unique fingers, they will concentrate on different type of music. They are inventors in a way. Yeah, if I was to say who have these fingers, they are inventors. Like person who invented light bulb, when person who invented flying. All of these people, they were criticized initially. They were like, no, this cannot happen. This cannot happen at all. Flying cannot happen. And now there are airplanes. Now they prove them wrong. So this is a person who proves others wrong. And the problem is, if she is in a tradition, if someone forces her to be in a tradition, she won't be there for long. Maybe she will just fulfill her contract, but she will leave because she cannot be bound. Uh, what do you say? She cannot be what do you say, under pressure. She can't be pressurized and she can't be put in a category. She doesn't like being sub-categorized. This is also shown. Now let me tell you what is also shown by this. Now we all will think that the lines will mean this, that will mean this, but no, the lines are not the only thing. I always start with the fingers, and if we go with the thumb, it is extremely long. It is actually maybe the longest thumb to finger ratio of a female K-pop idol. Because the thumb for men, it means a bit different. That I will explain when later on if I'm doing a male K-pop stars. But let's go to the female thumb. Now the female thumb, basically in society, right? This society all around the world. Let's not concentrate on one region. The smaller the thumb, the more the woman is reliant on someone else. The more they are dependent on someone else. Now this could be emotionally dependent. This could be financially dependent, and this does not mean. Now let me clarify. This does not mean that she will not be successful on her own terms. If a woman has mostly a short thumb, she would prefer to be in a K-pop band. She will not. She will not prefer to go solo because she has others to lean on, depend on, and that doesn't mean dependency is not necessarily bad. That means that she likes the support which is there. Because when you go solo, you do not have the support, and you could what do you say? You could be pressurized and you're alone. So who will you reach out to? You can reach out to fans, family, but when you have band members, they are the closest people because they are doing the same thing as you're doing. But this K-pop star, K-pop idol, she is like I don't care. She is basically, because she has an extremely long thumb. The longer the thumb, the more the person is independent. The more the person is I will do my own thing. And these people, and one more thing, this it doesn't necessarily mean she doesn't get along with band members, etc. She is more of a leader type personality. Then I was reading that she is, I think so, the leader of the band as well. So the longer the thumb, the more not only the chances of being a leading member of anything, being a president, being anything is increased. But the person is also good at that. And then what will happen is that if, like, suppose there's a president and he will have a good president will have a very long term. The vice president can have a short to medium term because he or she knows that I have people under me, I have people above me, I have the president above me, I have people who are under me. So I am surrounded by people who I can lean on. So that's how they get this done. But if you reverse the roles, you put the long term person in the non-leadership role, they will have start to have clashes. So because the thing is that they are extremely leadership material, and this is also what I've seen in her hand, that she is very leadership material because she does not back down. She is brave. So that is, I think, the defining marker of leader. Because if we see, there's the Jupiter mount, very developed. I would say most developed is the Jupiter mount. Then we will get to the other mounts, but most is developed is Jupiter with long term. So this already qualifies. Like Jupiter is the mount of leadership, ambition, etc. So she already has two things going for her. And the thumb itself is extremely long with the phalange. If we see, this is the first phalange, right? This line is separating them. I forgot to draw it, but the thing is, you will get that it is extremely blunt. So she is extremely stubborn about, as I said, she does not give up ideals. She is not a sellout. She does things like what she thinks is good and bad in the world. So people like this are generally successful. That's why people do say that the long-term people are generally successful. But I would say it depends on what type of success. I would say if a person can long-term, I would say you won't be as successful in this or in that. If a short-term person come, I would say you won't be successful in this or that. It differentiates. That's why you cannot say that this person has this thing, they won't be successful. This person has this thing, they will be unsuccessful. Or else, like, imagine how the person will feel if you tell them that you can't be successful in anything. And that's not true. That's not true at all. If the person is not a singer, they can be a rapper. If a person is not a rapper, they can be a dancer. So that's why you should not fix anything, and you should never be negative. Like, negativity is very bad. And you should not also be fully positive, because false hope is also bad. So you should always be in the middle. And she is like that, because what happened was, if we see that the headline and lifeline, I expected them to be separated from each other, but no, this because I expected it to be separate, because on the other hand it points to independence. But what is pointing here is that this woman is very, very hardworking. Yeah, because the head and lifeline being separate together means that she had a lack of confidence in the early ages, because see her career, she couldn't like, what was that, she couldn't make it, she made it to the 20th position in the competition. She couldn't, like, she couldn't find extreme success as a singer. Then she couldn't find that, she found minimal success as a rapper, but then she took to street dancing. So the thing was, she didn't give up, but she had doubt. She like, if it was someone else, what they would do, they would still be like, they would be singing, they would fail in singing, they will go and do it again and again and again, but won't work as equally as hard. That's, I mean, when the head and lifeline are separate, because these people are usually confident to overconfident. Like, if the space is very large, that type of person who will be not hardworking, they will be too much overconfident, and that will lead to their problems unless they adapt. So, and a person who has good gap, that means that they're confident. That means that they like, they are also not thinking what other people think. This person also doesn't think about what other people think of her. But at the initial age, until 25, she will be a bit touchy about some issues and a bit sensitive. She will still be outrageous, independent, etc. Because the head and lifeline are joined, and this also makes her a bit, could be, she is close to her family. Like, I even expected her not to be that close, but she is close to her family. She is close to band members, because the head and lifeline are together. So this gives a very contradictory view as well, because if you see, these fingers are, these thumb, this Jupiter, it's very separate. But if we see the head and lifeline, they are joined. So this gives a whole new meaning to the reading itself. So, but the one thing which is going for her, that she was introverted in her early years, and she is extremely hardworking, because the head and lifeline, they promise two things: introversion till the point it is joined, and the other thing is hardworking. Now, what happens is, what eliminates these things is when the Jupiter mount is developed, because what happens is, Jupiter mount, it gives a person extroversion, it gives a person like the confidence. So what is happening is, basically, she initially, whenever she had doubt, the Jupiter mount came into play, and the long term as well. So I'm saying that everything will contradict each other. There is nothing fixed. You have to look at all the things. We also see that the lower Mars is also very well developed. I just colored those which are developed. So lower Mars is aggression. Lower Mars is basically going all out and doing what you want to do. But this also leads to a bit of anger issues. She could have certain outbursts of anger, and this is one area I will tell her to concentrate on. That aggression, if used positively, can reach you to the height of your career. If used negatively, that will one action can lead to the downfall of your career. And I'm not meaning she will have a downfall, but she can rub people the wrong way because, as I said, she's very independent. So when she talks, when she does anything, other people, who are very traditional won't like her because traditional people don't like these kind of people in general. And I'm not even talking about fans or haters, or I could even talk about people in other bands. I could talk about band members. That this woman was born to be courageous and outwardly. But this will also lead to broken friendships. This can also lead to broken relationships, especially in these 20s. Until she turns 25, because that is when the head and lifeline adjourn, then she will begin to realize that, oh, I have to compromise with other people. Because until you compromise with other people, you cannot develop sustaining relationships. So this is also one thing which I've noticed, and I actually advise her. I don't know if she'll ever watch the palm reading or anyone will reach out to her. But that is, of course, the South Korean community itself has very talented fortune tellers. The East Asian community as a whole, a person who also comments that she is very talented. As a fortune teller, she's a tarot reader. So there are so many talented readers out there that they will somehow can reach out to her, especially if she consults someone. So I am just saying that if they focus on this point, she will be very successful. If she focuses on this flaw of hers, because everyone is flawed, no one is perfect. Remember that. So she can be more successful. Headline is going downwards towards Mount of Moon, which is heavily developed. Now, the headline is excellent. Why? Because the headline is straight at the start and then going downwards. So this person, the lengthier the headline, the more the person can concentrate on different professions and be successful in them. The shorter the headline or the medium length, it is better the person concentrates on one thing. Like if the headline is short to medium, just do singing. If the headline is longer, you can, and the headline is also of good quality, it's long, it's not breaking, there are not crosses, and it's going towards the Mount of Moon, but not going too much into the Mount of Moon. If you say it's not going too much into the Mount of Moon, and there's enough creativity in the person. This person has enough practicality. Basically, see, dancing, singing, and etc. They need practicality and they need creativity and they need it in good quality to be successful. And that is what she has, because by combining these things, see, if she was only creative, she would only write a song and be like, oh, I can't perform this. And so, but because of her Mount of Moon and the headline combination, she can do both things. And this is why the ideal headline is straight and going a bit downwards. It's an ideal headline. In the way I can say I would say it's one of the best headlines. I don't want to say that it's the best headline because that would mean that everyone will be looking at their hand and saying, oh, why don't I have this headline? That's why I'm unsuccessful. Or I have this headline, that's why I'm no. That's one of the best. And I've seen it in the hands of millionaires as well. Extreme. I would say I've seen it in the hand of the richest people in the world, this type of headline. So that's why it is very good, because it shows capability. But again, I could say that this same headline would be found in a person who is not that successful, because they have not found what they are good at. That is a completely different thing. So again, we also see this triangle. This triangle is very important because at 25, this triangle till 29 or 28, there is a triangle forming. This is, I think, the part. I don't know how people leave the K-pop bands, but she will do something very, very. She will either launch a business, she will do something at these ages, 25, 26, 27, 28, which will make her a lot of money, extremely a lot of money, because when there is a triangle at this headline Lifeline, this means that when the person, they are they, not through luck, but through effort when they do something, that means basically they have been planning this for a long time. So she is currently planning something, and she will unveil that plan at 25. She is right now 22. You just see what will happen. At 25, she will do something, and or maybe she will write a song which will, again, because she already has performed in songs in League of Legends, etc. But she will further that. Maybe she will do something completely different, like League of Legends type thing. She will do something which will be very, very successful at 25. But she's planning it right now. It's related to the career only, not to the marriage, etc. If you're wondering that. And then we see that if we see the Lifeline, it's going outward. See this outward bulge. initially it was joined to the lifeline. See this outward bulge, and it's making the Venus mount going outward as well. She was initially very introverted, shy, reserved, etc. But due to the this line going outward and this Venus mount becoming strong, she became extroverted. And another thing to note: when the lower Mars and the this is developed, lower Mars plus Venus, it gives a person very very much energy. So the second thing they can be very good at is sports. So like if she, and I would say dancing is in a way of sport, could be a sports, because if there's a dance competition it can be. So she, if she wasn't as good as a, I would say these were the fields for her if she didn't succeed as a K-pop idol. Dancing, which also falls into that, sports, and also business. Business is also very good for her, extremely good for her, because but in business she would have a tendency to not follow the norm. So it could mean that either it would be hit or miss, but like, because if you're unique and you're not doing that much research, etc. Because see, when you launch a product there must be some competition, right? So her product would be unique, so I would say it would take time for her to get success in business. But this could also be what she's planning right now. She's maybe planning a business idea, and then at 25 it will happen. But still, I would still say that these three fields would be best for her. And the business too won't be this business that she will be sitting at her office all day, because this woman, she needs the outer world. She needs, because she has so much energy stored up, she has so much stamina, that she cannot be seen sitting idle. Like she will be doing multiple things at many times, and she will be restless, these kind of things. It's not a problem for her, because that's her natural personality. So even in a business, she would be it would be a traveling business, it would be a promotional business. It won't be a business sitting behind the desk. It won't be any business. If she wants someone to sit behind the desk, she will hire them, but she will go out and be that kind of adventurous CEO type of personality. So I'm just saying these are the complete fields which she can be successful at. And again, the fate line coming from the mountain moon, and then it's changing. This is why I drew it in white. It's changing a bit of direction at this point. So at around 36, because in mid 30s usually people like in East Asian community, I think they start a family. So around the mid 30s she will have a different outlook on life, because that's when she will have children and etc. So she will focus her energies differently, and she will have very successful children, because she is very, as I said, she's very good at managing people due to the thumb. So her children are also bound to be successful. But she is a very caring person, shown by the Venus mount. She will start, because at this point she is not thinking about children, of course. But when what happens is, some people, even when they have children, they sometimes put career first, even in the initial years. But when she will have children, she will like literally be like, no, I'm like concentrating on my children, and like I will focus all my energies on that, because she is a woman with energy. So she will focus on all the energy, and then the children will be generally successful as well. And then we see that the fate line is returning all of a sudden at the 50s. So as you see, in the 30s it's changing, then at the 50s it's returning. So she will, basically what happens is, when the fate line returns towards its natural course, it means that the person is coming back to that field which they are known for. So she will be doing something related to music, even in her middle age or old age. I would, yeah, 50s, 60s, and beyond. Then she will start maybe producing, and whatever she can't do when she was younger. But she will make a comeback in the music industry back then. But in the mid 30s, she will take a bit of break, not a full break maybe, but or maybe some kind of break in which she will put her children first. Because as I said, yeah, it could be a full break, because she will put her all energies in children. So even now, I would suggest that if she in a marriage, make sure that it is like very very with a person who is a bit on the submissive side, a bit of a more of a person, because see, we all have our personality types, right? Mostly it's dominant and submissive. So this person is extremely dominant. You see the Jupiter mount thumb and the longer Jupiter finger. Woman is very dominant. So if she is with another person who is dominant, they will frequently clash. The relationship won't happen. But if she is with someone who is sensitive, who is like a guy, a guy who is very introverted, very sensitive, very, I would say, not like that masculine tomboyish guy, opposite of hers, because she is very energetic, etc. She needs someone who is like very reserved, who is a bit of a stay at home, because what will happen is she will appreciate that person, because that person might, look after the kids when she is maybe attending something or something, etc. So she will have a very good relationship. She will eventually have a very good relationship, because the amount of moon fit line people generally have good relationships, and if their lives improve after marriage. But I'm just saying that that type of person will be very good for her, and she will find that person, because the heart line is very straightish and it's starting from here. So these type of people, they usually they might be very flamboyant, etc., but they will be very good at choosing their partner because they are very what do you say, objective instead of subjective. The straight hardline also shows her career being very one of the most successful K-pop stars in history, because what happens is women tend to be a bit more emotional than men. So when the heartline is straight, this means that they don't let their emotions interfere with the career. And this is also a physical heartline. So she cannot be married to someone who is not extremely good looking, because this is a bit funny, because what happens with her, she falls for looks first, then she notices the personality. So what will happen is that unless because yeah, so basically she will be looking for a guy who is also very good looking. But again, what will happen is if that guy does not have a good personality, then she will learn from that decision. And but the thing is that see, we all are different. Like even if we learn from, we are like, oh, we sometimes have this problem that if we break up with someone very good looking, we tend to be like, we are not good enough for good looking people sometimes. So this person, they will still remain the same. Like they will still looks first, personality second. So I would actually suggest her to look at both looks and personality in the same wavelength, and then she won't have these problems in the relationship. Because, and the other thing is that she is very energetic, so she shouldn't look for someone energetic, because what will happen is the energies will collide and cause an explosion. So it's better that you look for someone who is like more of a homebody, more of a reserved person, because you are outlandish. So when she entwines with that person, it will be a very long lasting relationship. And this is like all I can say. What was left is that I think this was left. We see that there is space between these fingers, showing very independent person, and Mercury finger is going away from the fingers. Very different person, bohemian, a person who likes to stand out, who naturally stands out. Doesn't even like to stand out, who naturally stands out. And the Venus Mount promises she will have at least 2 children, minimum. Maximum, I don't know, 2 children minimum she will have. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for the suggestion. I really enjoyed. Hope you did too. Any questions, any doubts, any suggestions, you can please place in the comments. Thank you. Have a very nice day ahead.